once again, and a warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News, which is coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Amina Jibril. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Comsat. The federal government has disclosed plans to retake control of Almajiri schools established during the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan, which were handed over to governors of the 19 northern states but have since been abandoned. This was disclosed by the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children Commission, Idris Sani, during a Memorandum of Understanding signing event with the Civil Society Action Coalition on Education for Role in Yola, Adamawa State. Sani explained that the commission was working to rehabilitate the schools and restore their intended purpose. And the National Assembly has expressed concerns over the wide gap between recurrent and capital expenditures in the 2024 budget. The Assembly, at a joint session between the chairmen of the Senate and House Committees on Appropriations and the Presidential Economic Team to review the 2025 appropriation bill, Senator Solomon Adiola and Honorable Abubakar Bichi cited the low level of fund releases for capital projects as a major obstacle to achieving tangible development. Hence, they called for increased fundings for capital projects in the ongoing 2024 budget, as they argued that capital projects are the most direct way for Nigerians to benefit from government activities, as recurrent expenditures primarily serve a limited segment of the population. Also in the news, the National Assembly has set 31st January as the tentative date for passage of the 49.7 trillion naira 2025 appropriation bill presented to its joint session by President Bola Tinubu on December 18, 2024. Chairman of Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senator Solomon Adiola, stated this in Abuja at a meeting with the chairman of standing committees in the Senate. He stated that January 31st is the date for laying of reports on the appropriation bill before the Senate and the House of Representatives, noting that both chambers of the National Assembly would suspend plenary for 2 weeks for budget defense by ministries, departments and agencies upon resumption from the Christmas and New Year break on January 14th. And the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committees has urged the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Midday, to submit the 2022 Consolidated Financial Statement of the Federal Government to the Auditor General of the Federation, AGF, as provided in the 1999 Constitution. This is as the committee expressed concerns at the poor implementation of the capital component of the 2024 budget, which Midday put at 25%. The committee chairman, Bamidele Salam, gave the charge during an interactive session with the AGF in Abuja. And the federal government has proposed 1.1 billion naira in the 2025 budget for the long-delayed national population and housing census, marking an increase from the 693.3 million naira set aside in 2024. According to reports gathered, additional census-related allocations of 527 million naira were included in the 2025 budget, which is currently before the National Assembly for vetting and ratification. Some of the census-related activities included 78 million naira for the National Population Data Bank, Nigerian Population Database Management System, geoportal hosting of population website and web portal, among others. And the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has rejected the federal government's request for the resumption of his trial. Recall that on September 24th, a federal high court judge, Binta Nyako, rescued herself from Kanu's case after an oral application by the defendant remitting the case file back to the chief judge. But Kanu directly told Nyako that he no longer had confidence in her handling of his trial. However, John Soho, Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, reverted the file to Nyako on the ground that Kanu's application must be brought formally before the court through a motion on notice. As a result, in a letter dated December 5th and addressed to the Deputy Chief Registrar, Degboyega Awomolo, Prosecution Counsel asked the court to fix a date for the commencement of trial, but opposing the request for a trial date, Aloy Ejimako, counsel to Kanu, in a letter dated December 9th, said the ruling of the judge recusing herself from the case subsists. And the United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed is set to begin a 2-day official visit to Nigeria today. The National Information Officer, United Nations Information Center, Oluseyi Soromekun, said during her stay she will hold discussions with President Bola Tinubu, senior government officials, and the leadership of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Also in the news, the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Waidi Ahmed, has said that Corps members will soon begin receiving a new monthly allowance of 77,000 naira. Speaking at the commissioning of a 32-seater bus in Abuja, General Ahmed highlighted that the newly unveiled bus would alleviate transportation challenges faced by Corps members and NYSC staff within the Federal Capital Territory. He emphasized his commitment to prioritizing the welfare of Corps members and confirmed that all arrangements for the increased allowance have been finalized. And the Federal Capital Territory Police Command has disclosed that it has intercepted a white Peugeot 15-seater bus transporting 59 children, said to be between 4 and 12 years old, suspected to have been trafficked. A team of policemen, led by Deputy Superintendent of Police Sadiki Umar, was said to have stopped the vehicle with registration number KMC 283ZJ along the Abuja-Kano route. In the meantime, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has commenced preparations for the 2025 Hajj with a walking visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Led by the Commission's chairman, Professor Abdullahi Usman, the delegation's visit is at the invitation of the Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. The Assistant Director of Information and Publications at the Commission, Fatima Osara, disclosed this in a statement. And now on aviation matters, the federal government has stressed that it has no desire to revive the Birch to Nigeria Air project with Ethiopian Airlines, ET. This comes amid inquiries about a reference to the revival of the National Carrier Project by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, during a handover ceremony in Abuja. The Birch to Nigeria Air project was a conception of former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika. Also, President Bola Tinubu has divided the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, Kaduna State, into 6 campuses. The Ondo State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, disclosed this in a post shared on its official X account. According to the post, President Bola Tinubu has decided to split the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, Kaduna State, into 6 campuses to ensure efficiency, national coverage, and smooth operations. And elsewhere in the news, France has described as groundless the allegation by Niger Republic that Nigeria had offered its territory to France as a base to destabilize the former French colony. In an interview in Abuja, the political counselor to the Embassy of France in Nigeria, Mr. Bertrand de Sisson, refuted the claim made by the leader of Niger military junta, General Abdurrahmani Tichani. Tichani had recently alleged that Nigeria was colluding with France to undermine his country, accusing France of plotting to destabilize his country by using neighboring Benin and Nigeria as bases for attacks. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News on Global Television, which is coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When the news returns, deadly Los Angeles wildfires threaten Hollywood. We shall bring you details of those and business as well as sports stories coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned and welcome back. If you're just joining, it is Midday News on Global Television here in the nation's capital, Abuja. In business news, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, has announced that telecom tariffs will increase, though not by the 100% been proposed by operators. Tijani disclosed this during an interview with journalists. Telecom operators have proposed a 100% increase in their tariffs, pending government approval. The proposal submitted to the Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC, seeks to address rising operational costs, including inflation and higher service delivery expenses. And the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has reiterated its resolve to improve the regulatory framework as it regards borrowing by government and corporates. The Director General, Dr. Momotimi Agama, who disclosed this during an interview, said this has become important given the critical role borrowing plays in the financial system. He said improving the framework for borrowing is very important because borrowing is part of the financial system and can only make much of the move wanted if there is enough funding. And China Development Bank has approved a $254.76 million loan to Nigeria to support the completion of the Kano-Kaduna Railway project. The development comes ahead of a scheduled visit by China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi to the West African nation this week. As part of his annual New Year tour of Africa, Yi will arrive in Nigeria and met with President Bola Tinubu and senior government officials, according to the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And now moving on to the foreign scene, gunmen attempted to storm the presidential complex in Chad's capital in N'Djamena, sparking a battle that left 18 attackers and one security personnel member dead. The government said, and according to reports, gunfire were heard near the site and saw tanks on the street, while security sources reported that armed men had tried to overrun the complex. The government later said 19 people were killed in the fighting, of which 18 were members of the 24-strong commando unit that launched the assault. Government spokesman and Foreign Minister Abderrahman Kolamala said there were 18 dead and 6 injured among the attackers, with one death and 3 injured. Jimmy Carter is being honored with a state funeral at Washington's National Cathedral amid a groundswell of tribute honoring the 39th U.S. president and the last from the so-called greatest generation. The service caps a week of mourning that has seen Americans quietly filing past the flag-draped coffin in the U.S. Capitol to pay their respect to Carter, who died on December 29th at the age of 100 in his home state of Georgia. President Joe Biden is to deliver the eulogy for his fellow Democrat at the Episcopal Church that has been a traditional venue for send-offs of U.S. presidents from Dwight Eisenhower and Ronald Reagan to Judge H.W. Bush. Biden revealed in an interview that Carter had asked him to do the honors when the pair, long-standing friends, met for the last time 4 years ago. And wildfire threatened to engulf paid-off Hollywood on Wednesday as a growing number of blazes raged across Los Angeles, forcing tens of thousands of people to flee their homes and claiming at least 5 lives. Fast-moving flames fanned by powerful winds have leveled 1,500 structures, many of them multi-million-dollar homes, in a rolling tragedy that one forecast said could end up costing over $50 billion. Over 100,000 people have been told to flee, and at least 5 separate blazes, including in the heart of historic Hollywood, just a few hundred meters from the storied theaters of Hollywood Boulevard. Los Angeles County Fire Chief Anthony Maron said his crews were struggling with the scale and speed of the unfolding disaster. Now to the world of sport. Nottingham said Rodrigo Bentancur was conscious after the Uruguay midfielder was taken to hospital following his concerning injury in Wednesday's League Cup semi-final first leg against Liverpool. Bentancur stooped to head a corner after 7 minutes at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and stayed on the ground after falling unchallenged. His teammates showed immediate concerns and play was stopped as Bentancur received medical attention for 9 minutes before he was replaced by Brennan Johnson. The 27-year-old was given oxygen through a mask during the treatment as a hush fell on the capacity crowd. Tottenham moved to ease fears over Bentancur, who only recently returned from a 7-game ban for using a racial slur about teammate Son Heung-min. Manchester United defender Harry Maguire has been banned from driving for 56 days and ordered to pay 152 pounds rather, which is equivalent to $1,299 after being caught speeding twice in 3 days. Maguire was captured on camera driving his Range Rover at 85 mph in a 50-limit area coming out of a tunnel on Wilmslow Road under the runway of Manchester Airport in March 2024. The 31-year-old England international pleaded guilty to the offence on October 2nd. Bolton Magistrate Court heard on Wednesday. Solicitor Gwen Lewis, appearing on Maguire's behalf in court, agreed that the speed is wholly excessive. And Liverpool buzz Arne Slot has slammed the controversial decision not to send off Tottenham's Lucas Bergvall before the teenager sealed a 1-0 win in the League Cup semi-final first leg on Wednesday. Slot was furious that Bergvall avoided a second booking after tripping Kostas Tsimikas with a sliding tackle. Tsimikas was forced off the pitch following the challenge, but referee Stuart Atwell opted to give Liverpool the chance to counter-attack. Liverpool lost possession, and just seconds later, Tottenham took advantage by breaking into the space vacated by Tsimikas to score the 86th minute winner. But fuming Slot said the decision had a lot of impact on the result. And that's it on Global TV's Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on HComSat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Amina Jibril. Thank you for watching and have a good afternoon.